Hi everybody, and welcome to my first ever Plan With Me video. Today I'll be showing you how I set up my Hobonichi Cousin planner for 2019. This year I'll be using the planner for functional planning, memory keeping, and art journaling. I wanted to keep all my journaling in as few books as possible, so the A5 size and multiple layouts of the Hobonichi Cousin should be perfect. The first thing I'm doing is setting up my monthly pages. On these pages, I'm recording important dates like birthdays, anniversaries, trips I have planned, and school holidays because I'm a teacher. This is my first year using an analog planner, so I'm recording these dates from memory. You'll see me flipping back and forth as I remember to add different things. When I migrate to a new planner next year, this process will hopefully be a lot easier because I can just copy the dates over directly. I love how the pages in the Hobonichi lay flat because of the unique high-quality binding. The smooth Tomoe River paper is also just as lovely as I had read about. It is so thin, but it has no bleed through and only minimal ghosting. The pen I'm using is the black Uniball Signo DX pen in 0.38, and it's perfect for my Hobonichi journal. Filling in the monthly pages took me about 10 or 15 minutes. I have it sped up on camera for you, but by the end I had recorded any important dates I would need to remember throughout the year, kind of just the way you would in the future log of your bullet journal. Next, I'm using the yearly overview pages in the Hobonichi as a habit tracker. The grid pages make this a great way to keep track of exercise, sleep, and water habits, or anything else I decide to monitor in the future. I'm thinking I might add a mood tracker at some point, but I'm not sure yet. I'm using the weekly pages to write down anything I like to see week by week. My blog and social media posts will be recorded here. Also, I did a bit of online shopping last week, so I'm keeping track of when those items were ordered, shipped, and when they arrived. We live in a tiny laneway house in Vancouver. I'll tell you more about that another time. It's awesome, but sometimes our deliveries get left in the most random places, so I make sure to keep track of when I ordered so I can follow up if anything ever decides to go missing. I've just remembered to go back to the yearly overview at the beginning of my Hobonichi. Here, the years 2018, 2019, and 2020 are all printed. I love that these spreads are pre-written for me. I really disliked having to write them all out myself in my bullet journal, but it was bugging me that the months were numbered rather than named. I'm using my Signo Uniball white pen to white out the numbers and will letter over top when the ink dries. For now, I'm just penciling them in cursive. And that's all the functional planning I really need to do for now. I've written down the important dates for the year and for this week, and now I'll do a bit of decorating, starting with the December 2018 page. I didn't need to use it because I started my Hobonichi in January, so I'll just make a small collage using some clippings of wrapping paper that I used at Christmas, as well as a piece of the bag from the store where I bought my Hobonichi. It's called Paper Ya, and it's on Granville Island here in Vancouver. I've heard that ya means store in Japanese, and so I guess it's just called the paper store, which is exactly what it is. It's my go-to for Japanese stationery. Anything Hobonichi, Midori, even fun supplies like my zebra mildliners, which I can't wait to use. I'm just gluing these little bits in using my Tombow travel size glue stick, and there you have it, my first collage. Now I'm going back to my yearly overview, where I will just carefully letter over top of my white ink using my Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip brush pen. This brush pen is perfect if you are a beginner at hand lettering because the tip is quite firm and gives you a lot of control. I'm really loving mine. Now I'm turning to the 2-page blank spread that starts before the daily pages in the Hobonichi. This is where I'm going to write down some of my intentions for 2019 and my mantra for the year. On the right hand side, I'm titling the page Manifesting 2019. I'll turn to this page when I want motivation to do the things that I really want to accomplish this year. My goals for the year surround a couple of different themes. One of them is health and fitness. That's something that I really kind of put to the wayside after my wedding last year in July. The other is money. And finally, my blog and my social media presence. So my first goal of the year is to run 10 kilometers without stopping. I also want to be able to save more money on a monthly basis. And I want to eat more healthily and make sure that I cook at home most of the time, something that my husband and I, we're working on it. On the opposite page, I'm writing my mantra for the year. This year it's going to be the word trust. This is my first year choosing a word of the year, and actually the word trust came quite naturally to me. It represents me having more trust in myself, my own instincts, and my own voice, removing self-doubt, and therefore having the confidence to speak my mind more freely. But it also represents surrounding myself with people who I have trust in, and really making more time for my inner circle. I tend to be quite introverted, which means I'm more than happy to spend time indoors reading and watching movies and writing in my journal, but I want to prioritize time with those people that I love as well this year. I love this definition of trust. Firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. I may go back and decorate these pages more in the future, but for now I'm happy to leave them very minimalist while I decide on what type of colors, what type of layout I might like best. I like seeing the negative space around my words. It really helps me zero in on the meaning of them and focus in on what it is that I want to take from these pages. At the top, I'm practicing one tiny little doodle. I love drawing these little banners, and I'll go over it with a black pen as well. By the way, the pencil that I'm using is taken from my classroom. It is the cheapest Staples mechanical pencil, and honestly, it serves my purposes just fine. It erases really easily with a white eraser, and it has a very fine tip. I love to splurge on school supplies, but sometimes I just don't have to. Okay, and finally, my first doodle for my first page on my daily pages in my Hobonichi. I've decided to participate in the Hobonichi Challenge 2019. To take a look at other people's creations on Instagram, go look at hashtag Hobonichi Challenge 2019. And the challenge drawing for January 1st was the piggy bank. I had to remind myself as I was drawing this that the whole point of my art journal is to get better at art, so obviously on the first day it won't be amazing. I copied this doodle from an example on the internet, and for my very first drawing, I think it's quite nice. I'm outlining with a Sakura Pigma Micron fine liner in 01, and I've actually swatched out my Crayola Super Tip markers in the back of my Hobonichi just to see how the colors behaved on the Tomoe River paper. So I've selected a pale pinkish color, and I'm going to add some color to my little doodle. I was shocked because doing this much coloring with a marker on such thin paper, I thought for sure it would bleed all the way through. But once I finished coloring, I took a look on the other side and there was actually just minimal ghosting. I also understand what people mean now when they talk about the nice crinkle of the Hobonichi pages. As you write and as you make impressions on the page, it gives it this sort of wrinkled quality. It reminds me that I'm filling out my journal and gives me a nice sense of accomplishment after I've written on a page. Okay, there you have it. I'm all set up for functional planning, and I've also completed my first few little doodles in my Hobonichi Cousin. My habit tracker is ready to go. I've practiced a little collage. I've set my intentions and my mantra for 2019, and I'm ready for the year. Next, I think I'll swatch out my watercolors in the back just to see how my new watercolor set looks and behaves on this paper, and then I'm ready to go. The last thing to do is just put my Hobonichi inside my notebook cover. This is a Traveler's Notebook style A5 cover that I purchased on Amazon. As well as my Hobonichi, I'm going to carry a blank insert for rough notes and pen testing, and a plastic envelope in case I collect collaging supplies while I'm out and about. This way I can carry my Hobonichi with me everywhere I go. The Hobonichi is quite thick and quite heavy, so it doesn't fit perfectly in this cover, but it will suit me just fine. I'm really looking forward to showing you how my planning, my memory keeping, and my artwork turns out in this journal. Thank you so much for stopping by for my first plan with me.